Hi there, my name is April Sawtelle and welcome to my channel. I have so many projects right now that are just waiting for me to finish. They're not quilts, they're not sewing projects that I've made. What I'm going to do is I have so many of these small little projects and tasks, I'll call them tasks, that need to be taken care of. I think I'm just going to try today to take care of one of the tasks because my list is very, very long and it just keeps building. What's happening is it's taken away from me wanting to sew because I have so many other things to do. I really want to get back to my quilts and sewing. I don't want to have all these things still on my list, and I just dread every time I come into my sewing room that I haven't done any of the things. So today is going to be the day I'm going to get started, and I'm going to constantly try to get these little tasks checked off. I hope you stick around and join me. We'll just chit chat and we'll do some sewing. So today's little task that I'm going to be working on is going to be, it's all in this little green bag. This bag's been building up for a while, and it's just clothes that either my kids or my friends have brought over and asked if I could fix them. They just need a few stitches here and there. It's not a big deal. It literally is going to take me an hour to go through this entire bag. Stick around and I'll show you what I'm going to do. So I'm going to dump this bag out, and the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to just start looking at what I have here. I'll assess the situation. Okay, so one of the grandkids' bathing suits needs that tacked back on. Easy. Another little kid's bathing suit, I'm going to play around with the zipper. Not sure where I'll get with that. I'll play around with that one. Oh, one of their little stuffed animals they brought over, put in my little green bag. I need to fix the little nose. It looks like one of the puppies got the little puppy's nose. Get it? The little puppy got the little puppy's nose. So I'm going to have to hand stitch that. One of my daughter's jumpsuit just has a hole in the whole pocket. I'll just put a few stitches in that, seal that right up. Oh, another bathing suit for another granddaughter. Looks like it's the zipper. Not sure if I'm going to tackle that one or not today. One of my daughter's dresses, I can see that it all was coming apart here. I can fix that right up. I'll mend that. Somebody's pants here just have a hole right here in the back side. I'll fix that. Somebody's shirt here, just a little tear here on the side. Few stitches and that'll be done lickety split. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just start looking at what color thread I want to use. It looks like really I could just stick to white and black, I think. I think that's all I'm going to do with this. So I'm just going to pull my thread out and I'm going to grab a white and a black thread out of these. I thought of doing the blue on this, but I thought of doing the blue on the bathing suit, but you know what? I'm going to try just putting white. It literally only has about 3 or 4 stitches, so I don't know if I want to change all the thread for that. We'll see as I go. And then this little puppy's nose, well, I think I'm going to end up hand sewing that. I may have to give it a patch, but I think this time around I might be able to just hand sew around. So I'll just want a thread that matches that. So I'll just pick this thread here and I'll just sew around his little nose with this. That one I'll hand sew. Now I've got my pile all together, I'm just going to head over to the sewing machine. I'll see you there. So now I've got the thread all ready. I'm going to start with the black thread and I'm just going to sew everything that's black or that can be sewn with black thread. I'm just going to go ahead now. I've got the jumper inside out, and all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to line this pocket up, give it a few stitches. It's not a very big hole there, and then I'm going to back stitch. And I'm going to go over it, and then I'll just give it one more back stitch to really secure it. Boom, done. That probably took a minute. One item off the list. So this one is going to be a little bit tricky because it's right on the seam and there's a liner. So in order for me to do this, so the first thing I'm going to do with this dress is I'm going to cut all of this extra threads off to get those out of the way. So I think what I'm going to do on this is going to be on the front, and it's going to be on a seam. Because this is on a seam on the front, so here's the front, and it's right here on this seam. I'm just going to fold it in, but sew on the outside. Because in order for me to really do this and do it right, this has a liner. I'm going to have to detach the inside, pull it right side in, and fix it that way, and then mend it back up. I think for this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give it a little stitch on the outside, and I'm going to do the same. It won't matter if I do this because it's not going to be worn that much anyway. And it'll look the same. It'll still be really cute. It's just, you sometimes have to weigh out like the work that's going to be involved, how many uses it's going to be. For this, I think she'll still get a couple of uses out of it for what she wants to wear it, and it'll look cute. So I've cut all that thread off now. I'm just going to fold that in. I just took the insides here with my fingers, stretched it out, and I'm going to fold it in on both sides. I'm just going to bring it back together, and when it falls back together, I'm going to stick a couple of pins in there. Now I'm going to do the same to this other side here. I'll call it altering the clothes. You don't want to spend much time if it's really not going to be worn that much. All they're looking for is there not to be a hole. That's the purpose. No hole. Now you can see my pins all here. That's given that right where I pinned everything. So I've pinned that whole area closed now. Now I'm going to put this up under my machine. Now I didn't turn this inside out or anything. Remember, I'm just making a little seam on the outside. I'm altering these clothes. Okay, I'm going to go right to the edge. I'm going to still use my black thread, and I'm going to go ahead and give it a back stitch, and I'm going to be pulling my pins out as I go, and I'm going to give it a back stitch right there. I took where the seam was, and it doesn't have a hole, and I am just going to pull that so I get the same effect as what I had over on this side. And space your pins out just like you did on the other side. I can't wait to get these projects done. We have been so busy at our house since, I'd say since July. It might have even been before that. It might have started in May now that I think about it. It has been non-stop. I'm sure a lot of you feel like that. Summertime here is really busy anyway. I just am really excited to get back in the groove. That's what it feels like. I feel like I just have not been able to be in the groove. I can't wait to be back in the groove. I think getting some of these projects finished will really get me there. All right, I'm going to start again. Sewing those two together, the two sides. Back stitch, sew down. And I'll pull my pins as I go. I have a lot of quilts that I still need to quilt to, and I need to put those on the long arm. That's the other thing. I haven't even been on my long arm for quite a while because we've just had too much going on around here. I'm looking forward to that. All right, and give that a couple of back stitches. Okay, here's my new altered look. Let's see what we think. This has been sitting in a bag. The bag's probably been half half opened every once in a while. So I have dogs and cats, so it's just covered in cat hair. Look, just like new. You won't even really notice that this has been altered the easy way. We're going to take the easy way out of this one. Done. Check. 2 down. Quite a few more to go. Okay, this one just had a little hole right here in the back side. Not going to do anything too fancy. Just going to secure it. I could take the serger out, serge it. I could sew it really, really good, change all the stitches. I'm not going to. All I'm going to do is stick this under where the hole is, and I'm just going to pull that together so it's all together. For fun, I'll put a couple of pins in there. It's just a small little spot, but to hold it into place. Okay. Now, I'm going to just line it up on the seam that was there. Start with a back stitch. Start with a stitch, then a back stitch, I should say. Pull the pins out as I go. And I'll give it a good back stitch here too. Just like that. No more hole. My dogs and my cats have been shedding like crazy. It's just, oh, my house is so full of dog. Been trying to vacuum it up, but I really need to do a deep clean. A super deep clean. I live in Maine, and of course we have 4 seasons, and we have to do a huge shuffle. Right now it's fall here, and we've got to start getting ready for winter, so we close up everything outside. We have to take all the patio furniture in. We have to put everything away because we're going to be buried with snow here before you know it. And it's just such a big job, and having the seasons is so awesome. There's no complaining. We love having the seasons. It's just, you really have to get ready for it. And then, so when you're backed up on everything else, and then it's time to do the big shuffle, it always feels like it's ready to do the shuffle again from season to season to season. I mean, I'm not complaining. It's just, we've got to set some time out to get those things done too. So when I'm doing these projects, like I've already said, I got to think about the use of them and how often are they going to be used and who's going to see them in this. Basically, we're just looking for a quick fix. This isn't anything that you have to have a lot of experience to do. You're just doing a very quick fix. So like this bathing suit, for instance. See how it's got this blue piece here that this holds into? Well, I don't have any fabric like that. I could go looking for some stretch that's like that to add this one little piece in. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. You're never going to notice this. Nobody will notice this. I'm just going to take this because it's the most similar color I could find of something that I had. So all I'm going to do, it's just a little bit of rickrack. Funny story was, I wanted to get rid of a lot of this stuff that I don't use because, you know, it just takes up space. And, you know, we all get overwhelmed with having too much stuff. So all of these little ribbons and these little things that I just don't ever really use, I'm like, why do I hold on to all this stuff? Because I'm not there yet. I haven't done the deep clean yet. But, so, look, I'm glad I didn't because now I'm going to use this. I know this seems silly, but it's okay. This is how I roll. I'm going to take this little piece and I'm going to sew it in just like that one sewed in. So you can see here, right here, you just have this little piece. They folded it over and they sewed over it. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to take and make it be about the same exact size as that. Take it like this and fold it over, so it won't need much. I can see where it was on the bathing suit, so I'm going to put it there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a pin in. I'll just make sure it's about the same size, not even the same color. I really don't think anybody's going to ever notice this This bathing suit's probably only going to be worn at my house and nobody will see it. All right. I am going to put a pin right here. I can see that's where it went. I can see the stitches, so I'm going to stick a pin there. But all I'm going to do is I'm going to pin just the back side to hold it in place. I don't want to come through the top one yet. I don't want to have the fold in it quite yet. Okay. For some reason my chair just keeps poop, 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 falling down. So every once in a while I catch that I'm sitting almost on the floor. I can feel it moving right now. So I want to get this piece done here. All right. I'm going to just go ahead and snip this off here. I'm going to take the bathing suit and I'm going to just match it up here to see how they did it. All I'm going to do is, I can pull that down a little bit. I want to just do it just about the same size as what they've got there. Okay? I'm going to take this little piece of rickrack, push it through the hole of the strap. This isn't really like me, showing you exactly what to do. I'm just really kind of just chit-chatting here. All right. I guess what my point is just to make do with what you've got. That's good enough for me. Functional. It's all we need is functional, right? The bathing suit needs to stay up. That's all we're caring about. So I'm going to make that, and now I'm going to stick a pin in the bottom too. So it's right on the seam. I'm going to flip this over. Can you see there? I'm going to have to spin a little bobbin for this. I'm not going to put much thread on it. I don't like to have a lot of filled bobbins because I like to go with whatever colors I'm using. I'll spin them as I go. I have a few that are already spun, but that's just because they had way too much thread on them. All right. I'm just going to spin just a little bit of thread. And then just re-thread it with the blue. A little cap on top. Do any of you guys carry a bag like me where you just start collecting all of the things that need to be sewn and it takes you forever to get to it? Leave me a comment below. Tell me if you pile them up or if you're really good at doing them when you get them. I'd like to be the person that's really good at the minute they come to my house, I can take care of it. Boom, send them right back. This time it got really out of hand. I have a lot of little things that do need to be done like that. I'm laying this in the machine. I've got it all lined up now and I've just got it right side up and I'm just sewing on top of that little piece I put in. Back stitch and just go over it a couple of times. I'm glad it's just a few stitches because it's working with like a spandex bathing suit. It's not going to want to stay. So now that's all on. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut the extra off. The inside doesn't look as pretty as the outside. All right, get rid of that excess. And voila. It's far from perfect, but it will hold. Okay, we'll check that right off the list. This is the black bathing suit that needs a zipper. I'm going to pass. I'm not going to fix this. I don't think they're going to wear this bathing suit. I think it's just going to take more work for me to fix it than it is if they just are going to get a different bathing suit for next year. We're really done around here for swimming unless, we go away or something. But I think by next year, somebody's going to have a new bathing suit. They're not really going to care about this. I'm going to pass on fixing this one for them. I'm also going to pass on this, fixing the zipper on this one. I just have to replace the whole zipper, and I just don't think I'm up for that. Pass. This shirt just has a little tiny hole on the side. I'm going to try to not even change the thread. I'm just going to try to pull this together, and I think I will put a couple of pins in. One thing I find with me now is Sometimes it's easier to just pass on things instead of, it's all time. That's what it all boils down to. Don't you think? It's like, how much time am I going to spend on this? Everything I do now seems to have a like cost per use or a time frame. All right, I'm just going to go ahead, give this a couple of quick stitches here. Doesn't need that many, and I'm going to give it a couple of back stitches right here on the end. I just went ahead and used the blue thread as well. I don't think we're going to see that from the other side. You're never going to notice that. I'm not being a seamstress. All I'm doing is doing a quick seal of these holes. Look at that. It's not that noticeable. You'll never realize that that's there once that's on your body. Perfect. Now I've only got one more thing left to do today to feel like I've got something really accomplished so I can keep moving forward and getting closer and closer to being able to make my quilts. And that is the little dog. The little dog nose. I thought of putting a little patch over the nose, but I think I'm just going to try to sew this and seal it together. So I'll chat while I do that. When you guys mend things like this, do you take shortcuts too? Leave me a comment, let me know. I'm just curious what other people do. I do like to do things fast, easy. I'm all about keeping everything super simple. That is my motto, is to keep it simple. I don't have a lot of patience and I don't like to spend a lot of time doing things. So we all have different standards though. One of my friends, she's one of those kind of people that are just super particular. I'm just not. I'm always like, it's good enough. I'm just, that's just how the world goes. We're all just so different. Our differences are what make it fun. All right, what am I going to do with this little guy's nose? I have to get a different look. I may have to scrunch that little nose up and roll it and maybe put some embroidery to give it this look here with his little mouth. Because I don't think I can pull that together. I'll try. Let's see. I feel like I'm sitting on the floor again. My chair just keeps whoop. I don't know if that's, I'm going to have my husband look at it and see if he knows how to fix it. I have another chair, but it's just too big to pull into the front of this machine. How much space I have in between me and the counter behind me. This little stuffed animal here, the story behind this is, my granddaughter had spent the night, and then when she left, she's 11. And when she left, she's like, Grammy, did you see my little dog? And I'm like, geez, I don't know. We looked for it. We couldn't find it. We had all kinds of kids here at the time, and everybody was helping looking. I said, I'm sorry, I can't find it. When I find it, I'll set it aside. And then I looked and looked, never found it. I even walked around outside my backyard thinking maybe the dogs got it. And a long time had gone by, like probably weeks. And then all of a sudden, it appeared out in the mud, outside. And so I have two dogs. So one of my dogs, I won't name names. He hasn't fessed up yet. I have a girl dog and a boy dog. No, my dog's name is Rabbit. And Rabbit loves to just chew on things or just hold things in his mouth. He's like, we always had golden retrievers. And he's like a golden retriever. He's kind of like a shepherd. They called him a shepherd Pyrenees puppy when we got him. At the end of this video, I'll post a picture when he was a baby. He was never a baby. He was 6 months old when we got him, and he was, a ginormous puppy. And my husband, I have a picture of my husband holding him when we went to go pick him up from the rescue. We had gotten him, they had come, both my dogs had come from, I think Alabama. I think it was called Charlie's Rescue. And we had to wait for the other dog, which her name is Rue. And we had to wait for her because she wasn't ready to come up, but we had already picked her up. She had to come up on a couple of batches later, so it was like months before we could get her. But we had gotten Rabbit, and Rabbit was so huge. He is a big dog. And he's such a good dog, but he likes to chew stuff. He doesn't like chew up any furniture or anything like that. He just chews up like, oh, well, I shouldn't say that. He likes to chew pillows. He likes the corners of all the pillows. My old dog Flash, he did the same thing. He chewed the corners of the pillows. So like my patio furniture, I had to be careful because they're chewers. So anyways, Rabbit always has a toy in his mouth or socks, anything he can find. And he's not that he chews it, he just holds it there. One time we had a dog, our dog's name was Ralph, and Ralph we had as a puppy, and we had him till he passed, and he would walk around with socks in his mouth. One time, I think we counted when I'm like, oh, you want a treat, Ralphie? And he literally opened up his mouth and just dropped. There must have been 5, 6 socks in his mouth at the same time. He had to go like spit them all out, and then he got his treat. Then he picked everything back up. Just walked around like that. That's how Rabbit is too. I think it's just a security thing. It's like a little security blanket to always have stuff in his mouth. But yes, he does chew some stuff, and sometimes he likes to chew the squeakers out of his little toys. He's our toy dog. He has a whole basket full of toys, and he doesn't like to share them with the other dog. But the other dog's a little older, and she really could care less about his toys. She's always like, don't worry, dude, I don't want your toys. Because he'll be like, that's my toy, that's my toy. And she's like, I don't care, I don't even want your toy. Oh, they're so cute, though. So anyways, long story short, yes, I found my granddaughter's little puppy dog out in the backyard, all dirty. And she's still dirty. She needs a bath. You can see she's still dirty. I didn't give her a bath. She's going to get a bath before she goes back to my granddaughter. So I was super happy to tell her that I found it, though. This is so far from perfect. And she still might even have to have a patch. It's not coming together that great. Cut my thread. Try to fluff it up a little bit and trim off some of those little threads. I tried to keep that little mouth and nose. We're going to call this good for this time. He's going to go in the wash, and he's going to go back to his own house. And there he is. Actually, their dog kind of looks like that. They've got a little bulldog. That's got a little bulldog face. I'm so happy that I got that little task done and checked off my list. Now I can get on to a few more other small projects, and then I'll be able to get to my quilts. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Remember to keep it simple. Have a nice day. Bye. Say bye, Little Miss Reddy Thready.